headlines of this hour on VTV News. South Central localities accelerate key transport projects. And Southeast region prioritizes green FDI. In our world news, Brazil orders Brazilian ambassador to Israel to return.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ chaired a meeting on Wednesday to discuss and provide feedback on the revision of the draft law on national defense, security, and industrial mobilization. Taking into account the comments from National Assembly deputies, 15 new articles were added, 2 were removed, and some content and legislative techniques were edited. The chairman of the National Assembly highly commended the thorough revision of the law, particularly the inclusion of specialized policies aimed at developing the defense industry and implementing the Central Resolution on National Industrial Development Policy. He also emphasized that all mechanisms and policies are practical and in line with the current legal system. All opinions expressed during the working session were recorded and will be carefully reviewed for further revision before the draft law is submitted to the National Assembly during its 7th session in May. Quảng Bình and Quảng Trị provinces are expediting the progress of resettlement for the Vạn Ninh Cam Lộ Expressway project. Their aim is to complete the leveling, technical infrastructure, and resettlement areas for hundreds of relocated households by the end of March. Currently, Quảng Trị has finished leveling the ground and placing plot markers for 308 out of 351 households in the resettlement area. Meanwhile, in the Quảng Bình province, the construction unit has accomplished 50 to 80% of the workload at 4 resettlement areas. The province is expected to provide a clean site for expressway construction in March. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has instructed localities to accelerate the implementation of important transport projects this year. Following the Lunar New Year holiday, South Central localities have prioritized taking measures to expedite the construction progress of the North-South Expressway in the 2021 to 2025 period. We'll learn more about this through the session that passes through Phú Yên province.
The north-south component project of the Chi Thạnh Vân Phong section consists of 2 main packages with a total investment of nearly $408 million. Package number 2 passes through Tây Hòa and Phú Hoàng districts as well as Đông Hòa town. However, this package is facing pressure to ensure progress as its 4 construction sites have not been cleared yet.
2024 is a crucial year for the construction of the North-South Expressway. The construction site of the Durang Bridge is directly impacted by the rainy and flood season. We will ensure progress to complete it before this year's flood season.
2024 is a crucial year for accelerating the construction progress to complete expressways as quickly as possible. Therefore, local authorities need to implement more specific measures to address obstacles in land clearance and material availability.
There is enough sand for the project. 6 mines have been granted by the province to provide soil for the project, but none of them have been exploited.
The province is directing agencies and units to solve issues related to site clearance, resettlement, and relocation of other infrastructure works.
In general, the Chi Thạnh Vân Phong highway project is currently progressing about 20% ahead of schedule. The project is expected to be completed and operational in the near future.
Now, the significant increase in the number of domestic tourists during the recent Lunar New Year holiday reflects a new travel trend. Domestic tourists show a preference for nearby destinations accessible via new highways. Places like Phan Thiết, Nha Trang, and Tây Ninh experience a sudden surge in visitor numbers. This has greatly contributed to the growth of the tourism sector in these localities. Now, according to the Vietnam National Tourism Administration, the country's tourism industry served over 10 million domestic visitors during the 7-day Lunar New Year holiday, marking an increase of nearly 17% compared to the same period last year. The tourism industry in Ho Chi Minh City aims to attract 44 million visitors and generate approximately $5.7 billion in revenue this year. To achieve this goal, the city's tourism industry has invested in various new tourism products to attract tourists since the beginning of the year.
For the first time, visitors to Ho Chi Minh City can experience picking and enjoying Shine Muscat grapes using Japanese cultivation methods.
It's interesting to have a vineyard in the middle of the city. I saw many posts from others about it, but now I can visit it.
In addition to green tourism, travel companies have introduced nearly 50 district tourism products with one-day or half-day itineraries. These offerings have successfully attracted a significant number of domestic and foreign tourists.
We will develop more green agricultural tourism activities to meet all the needs of tourists, from adults to children and teenagers.
Ho Chi Minh City, with its diverse tourism products, has been recognized as one of the world's top 100 city destinations in 2023. This presents an opportunity for the city to further diversify its offerings and establish strategic connections with destinations across the country. These efforts will help enhance the quality of tourism products, lower prices, and attract more tourists.
According to the State Bank of Vietnam, or SBV, as of the end of January, the average deposit and lending interest rates have decreased by 0.15% and 0.25% respectively compared to the end of last year. Currently, the maximum interest rate for demand deposits with terms less than 1 month is 0.5% per year, while the deposits with terms ranging from 1 to 6 months, the rate is 4.75% per year. People's credit funds and microfinance institutions offer a maximum interest rate of 5.25% per year for deposits in Vietnam Dong. The State Bank will continue to regulate interest rates to support individuals and businesses and alleviate economic difficulties. The Southeast region has been leading the country in attracting foreign direct investment, or FDI. As of the end of January, it had attracted nearly 20,000 FDI projects with a total registered capital of about $183 billion. Provinces and cities in the Southeast have been conscious in selecting investors, giving priority to projects with advanced technology that promote green production by saving materials and energy.
This paper packaging manufacturing enterprise has made the decision to invest in a factory located in My Phuoc Industrial Park, Binh Duong Province. The company has allocated more than $1 billion to implement environmentally friendly practices in order to comply with the local requirements for a circular economy, recycling of scrap paper, and low-carbon production.
We've been making efforts to transform our green production so that our products meet the market's and customers' requirements.
We have issued a number of policies to foster the development of green production and the circular economy, and to reduce costs for businesses.
Meanwhile, Ho Chi Minh City led the country in 2023 in attracting FDI with over 12,400 projects. This included a significant number of green projects with substantial capital. A French energy and electronics technology enterprise has affirmed its commitment to expanding investment in Ho Chi Minh City. The city's focus on developing clean energy and products utilizing AI technology aligns with their investment strategy.
We're focusing on software and AI application solutions to develop the energy sector in a green and sustainable manner.
We're speeding up work to submit a green growth strategy to the People's Council. We're fostering green production and a circular economy.
New trends and changes in the global economy are putting pressure on the transformation of Vietnam's economy as a whole, especially its policy of attracting foreign investment. To avoid falling behind, localities are developing their own strategies to effectively attract green FDI.
Now let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate of today, February 21st. Coming up next on VTV News. Forest fire in Sapa largely under control. And at Tamuk Pagoda Spring Festival kicks off. Now, after nearly 40 hours of firefighting efforts, as of 8 a.m. on Wednesday, the forest fires in Tavan District, Sapa Town, have been essentially controlled. Currently, a unit of 700 people in Lào Province is focused on treating smoldering spots and tree stumps to prevent any potential reignition. Following the treatment, the forces are divided into teams to continue monitoring for signs of potential outbreaks and promptly inform other teams for response. The objective is to completely extinguish the fires within the day while ensuring the safety of the firefighting forces. Preliminary statistics indicate that the fire affected an area of approximately 30 hectares, and with 40 hectares being replacement forests and the remaining 26 hectares consisting mainly of forests without reserves, poor forests, grass, reeds, and vegetation. Adequate means of transport and human resources are prepared to ensure on-site fire prevention and fighting. Additionally, the local authority is responsible for investigating the cause of the fire and calculating the extent of the damages in accordance with regulations. During the peak of the dry season from February to May in the Mekong Delta, saltwater intrusion becomes more severe, causing disruptions in the lives of local farmers. In order to mitigate the impacts of drought and saltwater intrusion, farmers in the Mekong Delta are exploring ways to coexist with nature rather than resist it. Farm diversification is now being recognized as an adaptation strategy to climate change, while also helping farmers enhance agricultural efficiency.
5 years ago, this 8,000 square meter farmland was exclusively used for rice cultivation. However, my Van Thijs family experienced crop failure in 2016. Since switching to growing coconuts, they have enhanced agricultural efficiency and achieved a stable income.
Growing coconuts is more profitable than growing rice, as rice productivity is dependent on water supplies and weather conditions.
When growing rice, farmers can earn only $205 to $245 per crop each year. Meanwhile, when growing coconuts, they can earn about $2,000 to $2,500 per crop.
Thanks to this agricultural transformation model, farmers in Van Tre province have cultivated over 72,000 hectares of coconuts, yielding nearly 800 million coconuts annually. Farmers have transitioned to cultivating drought-resistant and saltwater intrusion-tolerant crops, such as soursop and vegetables suitable for crop rotation.
Rice cultivation requires a large water supply, so farmers switch to growing sesame and soybeans to replace rice crops during the dry season.
In Baclu province, farmers have implemented farm diversification models to adapt to drought and saltwater intrusion. One example is integrated rice and aquatic species farming.
Integrated rice and shrimp farming reduces the environmental impacts of agriculture. According to scientists, this model is a good example of sustainable agriculture that can help farmers adapt to drought and saltwater intrusion.
Mekong Delta farmers have been able to change their lives, improve agricultural productivity, and earn a stable income despite the difficulties caused by the dry season, thanks to proactive measures taken to tackle drought and saltwater intrusion.
The 2024 Tamuk Pagoda Spring Festival began on Wednesday morning at the Tamuk National Tourist Area in Ba Sao Town, Kim Bang District, Hanam Province. This festival is the largest event of its kind in the northern region. Thousands of monks, nuns, Buddhist followers, and people gathered early in the morning to eagerly attend the opening ceremony. The ringing of bells and the beating of drums marked the start of the festival. A ceremony followed where prayers were offered for peace, prosperity, and the well-being of the nation and its people. The water procession from Tamuk Lake to Tam Thi Palace, Ngọc Pagoda, and Ba Sao Ancient Pagoda was a highlight of the ceremony. It symbolized respect, gratitude to Buddha, gods, saints, mother goddesses, and farmers' desires for favorable weather conditions. Additionally, during the opening ceremony, Hanam Province received the prestigious World's Leading Regional Cultural Destination 2023 award from a representative of the World Travel Awards. Lai Châu Province organized the King Lê Thái Tổ Temple Festival in Nam Nhun District. This festival is a demonstration of gratitude as it honors the contributions of national hero Lê Lợi and other heroic generals in the history of building and defending the country. Additionally, the festival aims to showcase traditional beauty and evoke national pride and respect. It provides an opportunity for the young Vietnamese generation to learn more about historical traditions and take pride in their country's patriotic values, unity, and traditions in order to build and protect the fatherland. Sugar sculpting is an art form that entails cooking sugar to a high temperature and shaping it into various forms and textures. In An Giang Province, Vương Bình Thuận, a third-generation descendant of a family with a long-standing tradition of sugar sculpting, is renowned for his breathtaking sugar unicorn sculptures. Let's learn how he has preserved his family traditional sculpting techniques.
Each year, Thuận family creates numerous sugar unicorn sculptures, as they frequently receive pre-orders from local families and pagodas prior to the new year. These unicorn sculptures will be utilized for an upcoming festival organized by Ông Bồn Pagoda.
On the 15th day of the first lunar month, I will deliver unicorn sculptures to the pagoda. The unicorn symbolizes good fortune, happiness, and prosperity for the new year.
Creating sugar sculptures of unicorns requires a combination of good manual dexterity and artistic ability. Thuận family is highly selective in choosing the right type of sugar specifically for unicorn sculpting. The sugar is broken down and heated to a high temperature. The hot sugar liquid is then poured into wooden molds, allowing the pieces to harden into desired shape, such as a unicorn.
All processes for making sugar unicorn sculptures must be done very quickly. After pouring hot sugar liquid into a mold, we wait until it hardens into the shape of a unicorn, then remove the piece from the mold.
Thuận family is the only one in An Giang Province that preserves the traditional techniques of sugar unicorn sculpting. These sculptures are traditionally offered in front of the Buddha statue in the Ông Bồn Pagoda, and then given to Buddhist followers. Locals are extremely cautious when bringing these sugar unicorn sculptures home, as they believe that if the sculptures get chipped or broken, it will bring them bad luck throughout the year.
Modern technology has brought new life to degraded relics. With digital and 3D interactive technologies, people now can admire the original beauty of the Lê dynasty's communal house in Hanoi, or an incense holder which was dated back during the Lê dynasty was also brought back to life, thanks to advanced technologies. This has proven an effective way to bring medieval treasures closer to the public. More in the following.
King Tian Palace is the most important building in Tung Long Royal Citadel. Recently, its original beauty was brought back to life by advanced 3D reconstruction technology. Many ruined relics have also been recovered by using this technology.
There are not many medieval architectures remaining intact in the heritage site. We have applied modern 3D reconstruction technology to rebuild the images of that type of architecture.
Heritage restoration processes are divided into two main phases. During Phase 1, technicians digitize the architecture for storage and preservation using advanced technologies. During Phase 2 of the process, they will create the images of relics using 3D mapping or virtual reality technologies.
Artificial intelligence can be of great help. We can feed AI applications with information or historical facts about relics. AI applications can come up with solutions to recreate or preserve the relics.
Researchers have worked with architects to use modern technology to recreate the images of medieval relics.
The application of digital technology at tourist attractions is also an important part of building a database for historic relics, thereby publicizing images and tourism to visitors. Education about heritage will be more effective if we know how to use digital technologies. They help create virtual reality products, allowing visitors to explore exactly what they want to know. If advanced technologies continue to be used for the new to embrace the old, cultural heritage will be in safe hands going forward and continue to inspire the next generation.
Coming up next in our world news. Brazil orders Brazilian ambassador to Israel to return. And Germany likely to fall into recession. Now moving on to our world news. On Monday, the Brazilian president ordered his ambassador to Israel to return to the country as tensions between the two nations continue to escalate. The tensions between Israel and Brazil have intensified following the Brazilian president's condemnation of Israel's actions in Gaza. In response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared the Brazilian President Lula da Silva a persona non grata and summoned the Brazilian ambassador to Israel. In a retaliatory move, the Brazilian Ministry of Foreign Affairs summoned the Israeli ambassador to Brazil for discussions. The decision made by the Brazilian president is seen as a strong measure that further heightens the tensions between the two countries. Pakistan's two major political parties, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and Pakistan People's Party, have agreed to form a coalition government at the center, according to leaders from both parties on Tuesday night. As they have the required number of seats in the National Assembly, both parties have agreed on a power-sharing formula to establish the government. Former Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif will be the nominee for Pakistan's next premier, leading the new coalition alliance. Additionally, Asif Ali Zardari, the co-chairman of the Pakistan People's Party, will be the joint candidate for the position of president. While acknowledging the challenges ahead, Sharif stated that the coalition alliance would work together to overcome the ongoing crisis and steer the country towards stability. The German central bank warned on Monday that the German economy is likely to shrink slightly in the first quarter, leading Europe's top economy into recession amidst multiple crises. Following a contraction of 0.3% in the final quarter of 2023, output is expected to decline again from January to March. This consecutive decline in economic output would result in a technical recession for the German economy. According to Germany's central bank, the German economy is facing several challenges, including weak external demand, sluggish consumer spending, and depressed domestic investment. In December, the German central bank revised its growth forecast for 2024 to 0.4%, down from a previous prediction of 1.2% in June. A Swedish lecturer in architecture has been seeking inspiration for new building techniques and materials in termites. He hoped the networks of tunnels and vents through cellulose-eating insects built through their moons would offer clues on how humans could construct buildings with temperature and humidity control systems that use less power.
There are thought to be nearly 2,800 species of termite worldwide, and they are often found in warmer, humid climates such as rainforests, where they eat mainly cellulose found in sources such as wood, decaying leaves, and grass. Some species of termites that build mounds from dirt, clay, or chewed wood appear to be able to naturally influence airflow and humidity inside their nests in arid environments. Traveling to see mounds in different countries, David Andreen, senior lecturer in architecture at Lund University, has studied how the mounds are built closely to see how they work and how they are constructed.
Termites are absolutely incredible at constructing. They work with very limited resources. One of the fascinating things that the termite mound does is that it maintains a humid internal climate, even though it sits almost in the desert in a very arid environment. So what we hope to do is use the geometries and the mechanisms found in the mound skin to control the way that a building adapts to its environment and the way that it actually exchanges moisture, heat, air, things like this with its surroundings.
Termites' symbiotic relationship with fungus, which some species cultivate inside their mounds as a source of food and cone-like structures, has also piqued Andreen's interest.
Termites build generally from mud or earth and clay, but they also live in symbiosis with a fungus, and they create these structures inside of the mound called fungus combs, which are made from chewed up wood, particles of dead wood, and fungus together. And they create quite incredible little structures that essentially act like distributed little 3D printers, the termites are.
Andreen's research has not been applied yet, but with 3D printers developing rapidly, it is possible that buildings integrating his intricate, termite-inspired designs could see daylight in the future.
Now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app at VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.